Self-love isn't a bubble bath. It's the boundary you're too scared to set. I used to think self-love was bubble baths, skincare, walks, writing, art. And while all those things are necessary, and they're great for the psyche and soul, they are not the primary foundation to self-care in a way that establishes your own self-worth so that you never self-abandon again. I used to give clients and mirror work. And mirror work is, and maybe some of you have done this before, where you sit in front of a mirror and allow yourself to look at yourself and tell yourself that you love yourself. I love me in the mirror. Things like mirror work do help if you do have self-worth issues as far as how one looks, etc. But again, it doesn't get to the fundamental root of why we actually don't love ourselves in the first place. And it comes down to our worthiness. So I want to give you 3 ways that you can start setting boundaries now so that you can go along on your path and rebuild that self-worth and have found in time, as I've established these things that I'm about to give to you, it has completely changed my life upside down. I now, based on these 3 things and some more, but this video we're just going to touch on 3, have put in place in my relationships, in my time, in my space with people. And once I established these things, my relationships changed. More importantly, they changed because I established them for myself, not for anyone else, for me. And when we grow up in cultures that tell us that the good girls, the righteous ones, the ones that will be picked, the girlfriends, the moms, the wives that overgive to depletion are the ones that are so great. Look at that amazing mom. Look at that amazing. She just takes it all on, doesn't she? She does everything. We've all heard it. We're flipping that on the head now because you know what? Every single one of those women, even some of those, may not allow themselves to see this, but they all become depleted, at least from time to time. It's not possible to overgive, overfunction for other people without depleting yourself. It's not possible. And that's when disease comes on. Maybe early death, autoimmune disorders. So, 3 things you can do right now to start establishing your sense of self-worth in your life. Number 1, your body. I know many of you, like me, if you are in a long-term partnership, have faced this very thing, which is not being able or not feeling like you were able to say no to physical intimacy. So number 1, first thing you must establish in a long-term partnership is being willing to say no to physical intimacy. Let's say that your body is exhausted. Maybe you worked out in the morning. Maybe you emotionally overgave and that depleted your energy physically that day. Maybe you're on your menstrual cycle. Whatever the cause, maybe also you feel disconnected from your partner emotionally, mentally, psychologically. Maybe you haven't really connected intimately, or let's at least say haven't spoken to each other on a one-to-one connection basis for days, weeks, or even months. And your partner is coming into your space asking for physical intimacy, or maybe just putting it on you, expecting you to roll over and do that because that's what good wives do, good girls do. Or because you knew that if you ever said no, that it made everything uncomfortable for you in the relationship because it made the other person uncomfortable and you didn't want to feel that. So you learned that you had to not say no, give in to keep the peace. Soon as you start doing that, you degrade your self-worth. You abandon yourself in those moments. And in time, it will become worse and worse, and you'll feel worse and more depleted by continuously saying yes every time you really felt no. And maybe that physical space is from your children, or at work when someone's asking too much of you. Maybe you're in a job that needs a lot of physical labor from you. And you struggle to tell your boss, no, I can't do anymore because of the repercussions of saying no. But if you are, again, over depleting yourself, you have to allow the pieces to fall as they may. And I know that's difficult to hear, but we all have edges to our energy. We all have lines to which we can give or not give based on where we are energetically any single day. So I want you to consider thinking and feeling into, where is my body today? What does it need? Does it feel like giving physically to something, to someone? And honoring that if it does not. 2, second way you are going to start establishing boundaries now is time. Your time is valuable. So starting to set in motion me time. And this me time does include the things we first talked about at the beginning of this video, like bubble baths and skincare and working out, and maybe that's going for a ride or journaling, whatever that is. Establishing time doesn't always have to be on the same schedule, though when we do put things on schedule, it tends to be a little easier to flow. But as women, some of us really like to flow based on how we feel. But if we establish that time with the people around us to say, hey, no, it's my time right now. Mommy needs this time. Maybe that is that 1 hour in your own room where your husband or partner is taking care of the kids. Or if you just have a boyfriend partner, maybe it's, hey, can you take care of dinner tonight? I need my own time. I'm really depleted tonight. And that is that establishing the time you need because you've been depleted all day from the kids or from your work. And now you are saying the time that I need for me is love to self. And whatever you need to do in that amount of time is good and right for you. Third way you're going to start establishing boundaries right now is your emotions. Have you ever noticed that after you're around people who are either in a bad mood, complain a lot, or after work, always come home and dump it all on you and you take that on? Have you ever noticed there are certain people in your life, whenever you're around them, always drain you and deplete you? Yeah, that's you giving away your energy and absorbing other people's emotions for them. Hey, let me remind you, you're not a sponge, but you've allowed yourself to be because you haven't realized and been acutely attuned to who around you is dumping on you. Your emotions matter. And when you deplete and or take on everything that everyone wants to throw on you, and by the way, subconsciously, people learn really quick who will take their shit. They'll learn super fast if you're one that over listens and holds space, which can be great to a point. But when somebody chronically does that and dumps it all on you and you're depleted after every conversation, or maybe it's once or twice a week or whatever it is, then they are not learning how to tune in and work with their own emotions. It's an old telltale sign of how many children grow into adults and turn into emotionally immature people because they really don't, number one, understand their emotions, and number two, don't know how to work with them. So meaning when they're triggered, whether it's frustration, anger, overwhelm, any of the above, and then some, they don't work with that energy, allow them to center back in and to process what they're feeling, to re-regulate their nervous system. Maybe go work out to get the energy out or journal and process those emotions. At least I would say half the time, maybe more, right? If they don't learn to do that, they are going to be throwing and dumping everything they experience onto other people. Think about how many children, maybe it was even you as a child, never was shown or taught how to regulate or work with your emotions. And now as adults, do the same, but even worse. Expect everyone to take it on for them. Expect everyone to just go along to get along. To what end? This journey is about self-evolution, coming back into love. And in order to come back into love, it starts again with self. You have to be acutely aware of who you are, how you tick, why you get triggered, how to love yourself first, how to say no. And for all the people that I bring in or am attracting in this channel, you are the overgivers. You are the people pleasers. You were. We're changing that. We are changing that. If you stick with me, just like in this video, I'm showing you how. I only know because I've done it. I have done it. I'm almost 43 years old. I've had 2 big major relationships in my adult life. I have had the long haul of overgiving to complete depletion. And let me tell you, it didn't end up good. It ended with me struggling to get out of bed. It ended with me giving up my purpose to make other people feel good. Not stepping into the limelight because it triggered people. And I had to go through that muggy, rough water in order to get to the other side and dig my way and claw myself out of that hole I dug back into. Because I didn't want to feel that way anymore. And I know intuitively that part of my most basic lesson in this lifetime, and so many others on this planet, is how to love yourself. Do you know that Spirit actually showed me, I think it was only a couple of years ago now, I had a really particularly divine dream that showed me specifically where I was at on my self-development, and showed me that I was in grade school still. Even though I have all these fancy words, right? I know all these concepts as a spiritual mentor and guide and an intuitive and telepathic, etc. Have all these gifts, help people for years. But for myself, was struggling to practice self-love. And they showed me in that dream that I was still in 1st or 2nd grade with this aspect in my life. Until I learned to love myself and honor, set my boundaries, set my truth, step into my purpose in a full capacity, love myself and not worry about who it upsets. Until I did that, I would stay on those levels. That woke me up. Because we think if we gain all the knowledge, it's like the gurus, they have all the knowledge, they must be enlightened. I call bullshit on that. If they walk the talk, then yes. But you can have all the knowledge and not practice that in private. Some of those people abuse people. Some of them are narcissists. We've seen some of that stuff coming out. You know, if you've seen, since the E-files have come out, we've seen some of that stuff be enlightened or brought to the surface on people who were supposed to be the enlightened spiritual gurus, right? I've always seen that there's always going to be imposters. It's often the people that aren't really in huge limelights that are walking the talk. But those things are changing now. Because I know in the coming years, the divine feminine within us all is rising. And that's why you're being led to videos like this, so that you come into alignment in yourself, back to your heart, back to love. Because when you love yourself, you can love others. And as long as you struggle to set boundaries, you're not loving not only yourself, you're not loving the people around you, because you're teaching them that overgiving is love. You're teaching your children overgiving is love. Do you want to do that? Or are you ready to be part of the change? Do you want to feel different? I bet you do. Put in place these 3 things. And then when you do, your life will change. Come back home to yourself and your worth. Remember, you're a daughter of the divine. You are divinity itself in a human body, playing the game. And the game is love. What will you do? If you want to step up the ladder, if you want to gain in self-development, in your soul, you've got to start establishing these things. I promise you, on the other side of it, because I've been where you are, feels so great. It feels like a warm hug. So, take that bubble bath, but remember, it's not what's going to bring you love. The boundaries will. All my love. Stay tuned. Subscribe, please, if you like this content. Join me. And guess what? The more you like and subscribe, as you know with all these videos that are doing the same thing I'm doing on YouTube, it allows other people to find this content. And honestly, my greatest intention is to change the hearts and minds of the female population on this planet and bring them back into alignment, back into love of self, so that we can reestablish the foundations of what make partnership great, is that when females know their worth, everything balances out. But we have to do the work. Love you.